Hey everyone, my name is Michael Venturella. I'm the head coach at Temple Colorado Springs. I believe that the gift wrap is an amazing position for no-gi jiu-jitsu. And in this instructional, I'm going to show you guys all my favorite entries, submission options, and defenses to the gift wrap system. It's been a major part of my game for several years, and I hope you guys enjoy it. Hey everyone, so just want to introduce you guys Onyx Roland. He's going to help me out today. So I'm going to first start with explaining to you guys what the gift wrap position is and how to, lock it up, how to control it a little bit. Okay. So if Onyx, get down real quick. All right. So there's a lot of different ways to lock it up, and we're going to get into that later throughout the instructional. But like right now, I just want to show you guys some core details here. So one thing I like to do is just make sure I'm kind of driving into him so he can't get flat to his back. Because if he gets flat to his back, it's going to become a lot harder to lock it up. So I want him on his side, ideally. And then I want to keep my chest on his shoulder here. Now from here, just two ideas to lock it up. You can either go 2-on-1, and then you can let go and then grab. From there, after that, you can go under the elbow and then grab your own wrist. Okay. Or if you want, you can always try to grab his wrist, weave it through, grab your own wrist, and then swivel it behind. That works well. Okay. That works just as good, right? Now, another thing about the grip here, I like to not use my thumbs. So some people like to use their thumbs, and that's okay. You can use your thumbs. It's just my preference is not to. I feel like I have a strong grip without using my thumbs. Same way I Kimura people, I don't like to use my thumbs. And then once I grab it, I want to pull it in real tight to his chest, or more to his shoulder. And then I want to make sure I'm super close to him. I don't want to be this far back because this will allow him to get flat to his back, and then you would potentially lose it. So as long as you have this arm under his head, you have your chest tight, and you have a really good control, even though Onyx is bigger than me, I still can control him in this position. So if you can try to get flat to your back here, I have good control, okay? And this is like the gift wrap position. And we're going to get into now just other ideas of submission options. Okay, so we're going to talk about some side control gift wrap entries now. There's three of them that I really like to use a lot. Okay, so first one is if he happens to be on his side, turned away from you. So he's on his side, turned away from me. Okay, now at this point, this is probably the easiest entry of all of them. Is he's on his side, right? And I'm just kind of preventing him from turtling up or running away, right? And then from there, I'm going either, grabbing the wrist and feeding it to the arm that's under the head, or I'm going 2-on-1 and then swiveling around, okay? From there, just make sure you're driving your chest into his back. And once you grab his wrist under his neck, then you can let go, swivel between his arm, and grab your own wrist. Now I have the gift wrap super tight, okay? That's like the entry if he's on his side. So sometimes it's to bait him to get on his side. You can look for our second option is to go for a arm lock, like Americana or key lock on this far arm. And a lot of times they have a tendency to defend because if they don't reach over and defend, right, I'm going to be able to just to get the arm lock. So people normally would reach over to defend the arm lock, and that gives me the option switch to gift wrap. Okay, so just one more time, I'll break that down. As I go 2-on-1 on the forearm, I'm trying to push it to the mat. He reaches over to connect. And this is not like a bad defense on his part because he can pull his arms back to his chest and turn into me. It's actually a pretty solid way to defend that, right? So I can predict that defense a lot of times. So I'm going here. As soon as he reaches over, watch how I kind of eliminate the space and really drive forward into him. From there, I'll switch to 2-on-1. Okay, and then I can reach behind his head, I can feed it, grab his wrist, go under his arm, grab my own wrist, and now I have a nice tight gift wrap. And you see how I kind of have my chest on his back, my chin on his shoulder, and I'm pulling it super tight, pinching my elbows in, okay? So those are two really good entries, okay? And now for the third entry, I want you to go up a little bit. So for the third entry is if I get a Kimura locked up, okay? When I get Kimura locked up on bigger guys, sometimes it's harder to finish the Kimura. They grab their hands together or they grab their own leg, and that makes it a harder move to finish. So I use that I walk all the way around with that Kimura grip, and I switch it to gift wrap. Okay. So right here, if I lock up the Kimura, and Onyx either grabs his hands together or grabs his leg. We'll show both. Okay. So if he's grabbing his leg, I'm just going to walk around all the way to north-south. And then as I walk around to north-south, okay, I'm going to swivel my elbow to the underside of his head. And now I'm in the gift wrap. Okay. So now if he's connecting his hands together instead of his own leg. So same thing. I got the Kimura locked up and I'm just going to circle, circle, circle. And as I circle, I swivel it behind his neck and his head. And then I got the gift wrap. This is one of my favorite ways to enter it from side control if I have a Kimura locked up. The third option, entry, is from the Kimura attempt. One of my favorites. It's really nice. So I go for Kimura here, and he defends maybe by grabbing his leg. And what I want to do is just have a good tight grip, and I want to just slowly have good control of him the whole time. Because if you go fast, he might be able to spin and roll out. So I really take my time with this. I just circle around to north-south to the opposite side. And then as that happens, I look to swivel to the gift wrap here. You know, a lot of times if they're grabbing a leg like this, he won't be able to usually stop me pulling it this way. And then from there, I like to swivel it around. And now we're in the gift wrap position. Okay. You can also do it if we'll switch to this arm. We can also do it if he's connecting his hands. So I'll go for the Kimura. And now at this point, he's connecting his hands. So I can still circle, circle, circle. And then once I get to this side, if I'm having a hard time breaking the grip, maybe I even try to step over and staple, I can't break the grip, I can just swivel it under his neck here. And now I'm back into the Kimura. Back into the gift wrap entry. And another nice cool thing about, going from Kimura to gift wrap, you can actually go gift wrap to Kimura. So if I'm here and I feel like a good opportunity to switch to Kimura for a submission attempt, I can always clear his head by swiveling it around, step over, and I can pull it up here and I can finish the Kimura attempt. So now we're going to talk about mount entries to the gift wrap system. Okay. So first one we're going to talk about is, I like to call it the pillow choke entry. So we're going to, on the transition, kind of catch the gift wrap here. Okay. So I'm going to go to twister side control, which will be putting my elbow in like his armpit area here. I like to hip switch, put my lower back in his head and his face. And I like to have my free arm based on his far knee here. Okay. For multiple reasons. Like first reason, if he tries to push me down, I can use that to kind of stop that momentum and push myself back. And another reason is I can actually pull his legs towards me and use that to kind of step over. Okay. Now, once I step over, I want to keep this elbow on the mat. I want to draw like a half circle around his head. And as I draw a half circle around his head, I can lock up the pillow choke. Okay. And this is a great submission and great control. It's on its own. You can get if you want to practice this, I'll give you guys a little bonus right here. Just you can gable grip, wrist to wrist grip. You can do a lot of different grips, but you're just going to drop your chest on this shoulder so it's pinching his neck, and then you want to make sure your other bicep is flexing and dropping into that other artery. Okay, so sometimes I go for that and it doesn't work. Then I switch to the gift wrap off of that. So I'm going to switch to arm that's under his head, and as that happens, I look to grab this wrist. Okay, and sometimes it's like out there. I put it, it's out there. So as I switch, I look to find it and then grab it and feed it to the one that's under his head. Okay. Then I reach through, grab my own wrist, and now we're in the gift wrap. So that's the pillow choke gift wrap entry. Now from here, we're going to talk about some other entries. So if he happens to be on the side, a lot of times people have the tendency to do this in mount, bottom mount, because they try to shrimp escape and recover guard. So as he does this, I can look at this point to get my gift wrap. I can grab the wrist, force it behind his neck head area, and I can also meet it and grab, and then I'm in the gift wrap itself. So again, as he's trying to shrimp, right there, I just kind of grab the wrist, kind of push the elbow, force the hand towards the mat, and kind of feed it to the one that's going to be under his head. Okay, grab the wrist, reach through, grab your own wrist, and now we're in gift wrap. Okay. Now, Another one, just like we did in side control, we can also do that idea in mount. If you go for Americana or key lock, right, and he goes to connect to defend, he gives you the gift wrap right here. So we just switch to 2-on-1, and then from there you can either swivel or you can let go, reach behind, grab his wrist. Okay, you can reach through this gap right here, and sometimes this is a little challenging. He might be like super tight, make it so it might be hard for you to reach through, and you just have to kind of find an angle. I like to use my hand like almost like a screwdriver, right? Or like a drill bit. Sneak it through, grab my own wrist, and there we go. Now we're in the gift wrap, okay? And sometimes as well, when we go for the arm triangle, right? So we go for the arm triangle here, and maybe he gets to his side, and so it's harder to set up, finish the arm triangle choke here. We can look to set up a gift wrap as well, okay? So those are some of my favorite ways to get the gift wrap from mount. Okay, so now I'm going to show you guys some full guard entries to the gift wrap system. So the first one I want to go over is probably the most common entry for me anyways, is if I mounted you and I'm about to attempt to take his back using the gift wrap. And sometimes during that process, whatever the case may be, I slide it off or he made me slide off, right? And as I go for the gift wrap here, and as I try to take his back, right, he turns to turn into me. And as he turns into me, I kind of end up falling into this full guard position with my gift wrap, okay? And it's obviously, I want the back, but, now at this point, I have to settle for guard with gift wrap. It's okay. I still have a lot of good options from guard with my gift wrap. But that's probably the most common entry for me, is when the back take goes wrong and I end up in guard. I just recommend holding on to your gift wrap, kind of hip switching a little bit, get a little bit tighter, make sure he can't get his arm out and his head out. And he can't really posture because this is behind his head. So try to posture or get your head out or get your arm out. It's going to be a hard battle. You see what he did right there? He tried to push my elbow. This is a problem in this position. So I do want to bury my elbow into his neck as much as possible. If he can push my elbow, he can start getting his way out. But if you guys watch how I bury my elbow into the neck like that and I try to push it, okay, that'll prevent that. All right. So I'm going to show you guys some more full guard entries to the gift wrap system. Okay. So we're going to start in guard, and here's like your basic entry. Sometimes it's the hardest one, but it depends on what they're also trying to do. If they're like kind of like being lazy here, like resting on you, then this entry is not too bad. Okay. I just like to kind of push the wrist across, and then from there, I want to hold it. Okay. So I want to kind of cross grab it. And then from there, I'm going to reach behind his neck and head. So I'm holding his head, got his wrist. I'm going to pull it through. I'm going to grab, and then I'm going to weave through, under and through, and grab. Okay. Does that make sense? And then from there, I want to squeeze the forearm super tight, okay, into his neck. I want to pull his head down into my chest as much as possible. I don't want him to regain posture. I want to stay glued to him as much as possible. Okay, so one more time. Okay, if he has this kind of posture, it's going to be really difficult. You won't be able to do it so much. So I do like to break his posture down. Right, there's a lot of different posture breaks. Grab the head. Okay, and then from there, I'm going to usually grab same side, and I'll push it under his neck, and then I'll transfer it to the cross grip. Okay. From there, once I got the cross grip, I'll switch the hand that's on the head. Ideally, want to pull his elbow like on top of my belly button. And then from there, I can reach around, grab his wrist. And then this is going to be the hardest part with this entry, is to weave it through and stay tight and be able to grab your own wrist. Once that happens, I do recommend hipping out a little bit, kind of make it a little bit more of a tighter angle. And then from there, I'm pinching both my elbows in, keeping them nice and tight. Okay. All right. Another way to get there from guard is setting up like a high arm bar. Okay. So from here, I'm going to break his posture down, pull his elbow to my belly button, and I'm going to grab his head, and I'm going to start climbing my legs up and try to trap his arm as much as possible. Okay. So I want his arm extended for the arm bar, right? So I can get the arm bar. But a lot of times when they see the armbar come in, they kind of curl the biceps. This will make it hard for me to armbar, but it also makes it easier to switch to gift wrap. So if I can't get the armbar here, I kind of just hold the head, get the angle, weave behind the head, grab the wrist, grab my own wrist, make your adjustments. Okay. And all these little adjustments, that's something that's just going to take a lot of practice to get good at, but it's something that's extremely important about the gift wrap system from guard. Okay. From there, I want to get the angle and stay super tight. Okay. All right. The next idea would be doing it from an arm drag attempt. Okay. So I get the same side, grab the wrist here. Okay. I do like to use my thumb with this grip. And then I cross grab the elbow tricep area. And then I'm going to pop it up a little bit, pull the elbow across. And I like to let go of the wrist, hold on to the elbow tricep area. I'm going to let go of my guard. I'm going to sit up and I'm going to grab his lat. Now, sometimes I want the back, right? But sometimes they drive into you. And then as they drive into you, you can look to switch to gift wrap instead. Okay. So one more time, I'll explain that a little bit more in detail. I go for the arm drag, and then I want the back. He starts driving into me. I grab his lat, shoulder area. I want to focus on getting that angle, almost like the arm bar we just did not too long ago. And then from there, I like to look to grab the wrist. I look to feed it as this one's traveling behind his neck to meet it halfway. I transfer it, and then I go under, grab my own wrist, and now we're in our gift wrap. Okay. Okay, so I want to show you guys entry from full guard. When you have the arm triangle locked up and they're defending it, you can actually switch it to the gift wrap from the arm triangle attempt. So one of my favorite ways to set up a arm triangle from full guard is if they're, driving the forearm into my neck or grabbing my neck or anything along those lines. Okay, I'm looking to pop his elbow. And as I pop his elbow, I like to grab the head. And then at this point, I like to use my legs to pull him into me. So I squeeze my knees together and then I bring my knees towards my chest and I get to the side of him. Okay. From there, I connect. Finishing it from this angle of the arm triangle is not recommended because it's going to be more on the back of his neck. I need to get an angle so I can push his shoulder into his neck and then pull my arm to the other side of his neck. So I like to get a little angle. And once this kind of angle is what I'm looking for. And then from here, I like to lock up my arm triangle. And then from there, I want to pull, flex, and drive and shrug. Okay. Now, if he decides to defend this by answering the phone or anything like that, it's so hard to finish. So what I like to do is switch to the gift wrap from here. So I'm here. It's not working. I grab that wrist and I pass it over. And now I'm in gift wrap. So one more time, he's grabbing here like answer the phone style, right? And I can't finish this. I can just hold on to his neck and head. I'm going to pop his hand off. And once I pop his hand off, I'm going to bring it around to the other side of his head. And then watch what I do with my right arm. I'm going to transfer it to my own wrist. And now we're in gift wrap. Okay. Where you got a nice angle as well. So this is really nice. Cool thing as well is we can always switch back to the arm triangle from here. So we have the gift wrap. We can shoot a nice uppercut, and then we switch back to the arm triangle, and we go right back to it. Okay. So I want to show you some entries if you have your back or crucifix position, okay, to the gift wrap. So if we have our hooks in, our seatbelt position, I tend to use this on the side and under a lot. So if I fall to the side and under and I'm having a hard time submitting them, I might want to switch back to the gift wrap to switch up my submission options. So in this case, I'm looking to break the grip. Okay. So I swivel. So right here, I swivel under and I break the grip by pushing off. Right. And then from there, I'm looking to transfer. Okay. So once I transfer it, I'm going to grab my top one. And now sometimes this is a little difficult to deal with that because he's holding my hand here. But I notice if I go a little bit higher, that's kind of my solution to that problem. And then naturally they tend to want to let go to either fight the grip. It's just like that, or to try to do something else. Right. So, but yeah, now I'm in the gift wrap position in the back. And now I can start looking to switch to other options. Another place we can do it from is the crucifix. So if I have him in the crucifix position, now if, you know, you could be in a crucifix in a lot of different controls right here. You can be grabbing his wrist. You could be grabbing your own head, neck area. So yeah, I'm trying to go for a choke and he ends up grabbing my wrist right here with this one. So this is sometimes hard to deal with if you want to go for the choke. So what I like to do is grab his wrist, peel. I can try to go for the choke. And if that's not working, I can transfer his own arm to my one that's around his neck, grab, then grab my own wrist. And now we're back in the gift wrap. And then we can use that gift wrap to transfer to something else. Okay, so we're going to start talking about submission options from the gift wrap from side control. Okay, so keep working on your entries. One, like I said, one of my favorite entries is going for a key lock or Kimura. And then when he defends, I look to switch to the gift wrap, right? 2-on-1, or you can just kind of hold, weave through, grab his wrist, and then grab your own wrist. Okay, I recommend trying them both, and you would potentially use them both. Okay, pretty much whatever he gives you is what you're going to take. I want to make sure he stays on his side. But if sometimes they bridge into you and they get flat to their back, now when this happens, you have a couple options. You can either put them back on their side and, you know, just make sure if you want to keep them on their side that you're driving in with your toes. You have your chest on their back. You're really tight, really low. Okay. Have your knees close to their back. See, I have this knee close to his head, a lot of knees in his back. So I'm really driving into him now, but he still may get flat to his back. So when he gets flat to his back, at this point, I'm looking to transfer to the arm triangle. So what I'll do is let go of my own wrist, and then I kind of pick up his head. And then as I pick up his head, I weave my right arm, okay, under his neck. And once that happens, I slide my head down before I let go of his wrist. If I let go of it right now, he'll move his arm over, and I lost it. So I want to make sure I'm here. And I'm sliding my head down as much as possible. And then you see how my other hand's ready to go. Once I get this low, I can look to let go, connect my hands, get my head low, make my adjustments on my arm triangle, alter my, fix my grip if needed, and really want to drop my shoulder into his throat and just pull my arm through his neck and flex my bicep and drive my chest into his shoulder. Okay. Now, if he decides to get on his side again, right, we can always go back to the gift wrap. So again, if he's right here, he bridges to his side. And then from there, I'm just going to kind of close the space and look to reach under again, grab his wrist, and grab my own wrist. And now we're back in gift wrap. Okay. Okay. So now we're going to show you guys the arm bar from gift wrap from side control. Okay. So Onyx is leaning down here. We lock up our gift wrap. Once we lock up our gift wrap, I would prefer him to be on his side for this one. So try your best to keep him on his side. It is possible to do if he's flat on his back, but more if you're in mount. If he's in side control, it's going to be a lot harder for him. So I recommend keeping him on the side. You step your leg over, my right leg in this case. Once I step my right leg over, now at this point, I look to swivel this, okay? And you can do this two ways. You can just swivel it, or a way that I like to do it is almost bait him to pull his head through that window. I just kind of like leave it loose, and he's like, all right, I'm going to braid it through. And once that happens, I want to lean my whole body and my head this direction, and that will allow me to take out all the weight off my left leg so I can swivel it around his head. And once I swivel it around his head, now I can sit back and go to the arm bar, okay? So once I get the armbar position from here, just showing you guys a little bonus one. One of my favorite breaks to do is using the leg on the body to kind of kick his arm. Even if he's like RNC grip, I do the same thing. I can use this to kind of kick the arm. And a lot of times when that happens, when I break the grip, he'll switch to a long grip. And from there, if I can either kick to break the grip, or I can swivel it through, and I can start looking to switch to a triangle. I like to swivel it through, like to still hold onto his arm, swivel my leg through. And at this point, if he sits up, I can still lock it up, right? Grab his head and lock it up. And if he's not sitting up, I like to make this blade go under the this part of his neck, because it's like there's a little curve right there. You sneak your hand through using that same type of motion with your hand, right? And then from there, I grab it. And then from there, I can use that to kind of pull them up a little bit, lock it up. Once I lock it up, so here, swivel and lock it up. And then from there, it's sometimes hard to finish this choke. So what I like to do at this point is double hug around his wrist. He's connecting his hands. Kind of let go, because I can let go now because I still have the triangle controlled. So I double hug around the wrist. I can use that to break the grip. A lot of times you can get modified arm locks here. Or if he happens to get to his knees, I can make my adjustments for a better triangle attempt. Okay. All right. Okay, so now I want to show you guys a leg triangle option from the gift wrap from Side Control. Okay. There's actually two options, two different ways to set up triangles. So let me show you guys both. Okay. So if he's laying down in Side Control here, so lock up the gift wrap. So first option would be if you want to let go of your gift wrap and you're going to pull it tight, so it's like wrapped around his neck really tight, then you can look to control the wrist. And then from there, you can look to step over and either weave it through just like that or completely clear it. Like just completely swing it around and clear it. From there, I pull it. And then when I have my leg somewhat close to his neck, I'll let go of his wrist and I'll grab my own shin. Once I grab my own shin, I get up on my forearm here and I can make my adjustments. He may bridge into you and knock you over. And if that happens, you're going to have to finish this triangle from guard. Okay. If you're able to kind of to keep that top position, I'll show you guys that now. So we're here, pull it super tight, push the arm through, swivel it over, just kick them in the hand. Sorry about that. Grab your own shin. And if I'm able to kind of stay in that mount position, because you can do this same entry from mount as well. And then we can finish it here. Sometimes it's hard to get the triangle choke from here. I'll show you guys some details. I like to put my head on the mat and I like to pull his head upwards as I pinch my knees together. I pull his head upwards, two hands. Okay, that's one way to get the choke. Another way to get the choke is by turning your whole body this way. Okay, and then sometimes I also like to just mess with the arms. Going arm lock using the hip as a fulcrum, wrist lock. Okay, sometimes a little key lock on this arm. He's wrapped his arms around my body. Like a really nice little Kimura here. Grab the elbow, grab the wrist, get him with a little Kimura. Okay. Now this triangle will be more from the back now. You're going to lock it up from Side Control and do the whole entry from Side Control, but you'll end up in a more of a back position and then you'll set up your triangle from there. Okay. So we do the key lock, Americana, right? And he connects. Go for the gift wrap. And then from there, what I like to do is I like to kind of get to the position that I'm like sitting on my butt and I put his head on my stomach. Okay. This requires a really strong gift wrap control. So if you're not having success controlling the gift wrap, I wouldn't recommend this one to you. Okay. I would recommend one of the other options that we worked on from Side Control. But this one, if you have good grip, you can really control them and set up a nice triangle from the back position. So we're here. And then from there, a lot of times is he'll connect his hands, right? He'll defend. And I'm looking to weave my leg through. So I can kick, I'll weave it through. And once I weave it through, I'm going to bring it across his neck. I sometimes like to pull the arm, or sometimes I'll like to grab my shin and I make my adjustments. I lock it up. And now we have a triangle from the back, right? Just pinch my knees together. Instead of pulling his head up, I push it down into my calf. Okay, you also have arm locks here, wrist locks here, different variations of arm locks. Okay. Okay, so I want to show you guys the Kimura submission option from the gift wrap from Side Control. Okay, so we lock up our gift wrap. Once we lock up our gift wrap here, what I like to do, you can swivel first, is what I would recommend. I wouldn't recommend letting go of your gift wrap, so just swivel. And remember my swiveling trick, so you can either swivel the arm Or you can do what I like to do is kind of give him that window and then he pulls his head through. Once that happens, I step over. And as I step over, you're going to have to pull the arm up simultaneously. Okay. So again, we'll go back to this. I swivel, I step over and pull the arm up simultaneously. Okay. Ideally, I don't want him flat to his back. I want to keep him on his side. When I have a nice knee pinch, if I can, I would like to staple this bicep. He may be connecting his hands right now. So if I can, I would like to staple that bicep. So when I pull up, he won't be able to follow, and that helps me break the grip. Now to finish the Kimura here, I like to go double motorcycles. Okay. And I like to have the hand get low to the lower back here, and I start rotating the hand towards the back of the head. Okay. All right. And for whatever reason, if you can't finish this Kimura, you can always go back to the gift wrap. We can always swivel back around as well. Okay. So from here, okay, we swivel, we step over. Even if we could staple simultaneously, that'd be great. Pull it up. There it is. Okay. Okay. So we're going to talk about some submission options from gift wrap from mount. Okay. So we lock up our gift wrap. As that happens, okay, now I'm going to go to a rear triangle, okay, from the mounted gift wrap. So what I like to do is kind of post up on his foot and kind of get like a little bit high on him and put like his head in my stomach. From there, I sit down, okay. Now, once I sit down here, I can look to weave my leg through. Right? So I'm looking to get this angle, look to weave my leg through, and he may be connecting here. He may be blocking here. So this does take a little bit of a trickery, right? You can either come over the wrist and smash through the wrist like that, or you can go through that little gap as well. Okay. When that happens, you're going to pull the leg across, you're going to lock up your triangle. Okay. So we're here. And then you can either, if you have the dexterity and flexibility to do it, I would recommend doing it without letting go of the arm. And if you're having issues there, I do recommend grabbing your own shin, and then you're able to pull it across that way. Okay. Once you lock it up, pinch your knees together, push the head into your calf muscle. There you go, he taps. And if he's hugging, I like to go double hug around the wrist, break the grip, wrist lock, boom. Use my hip as a fulcrum for the armbar. Okay. All right. Another thing you could do is when sometimes I'm going for this triangle, he tends to get his head to the mat. If he ever gets his head to the mat, I just go straight to the armbar. Okay. From the armbar, if your legs happen to be crossed over this way, sometimes that happens. I would recommend going straight to your X break. So from there, you will just weave it through. Make an X with your feet, extend to break the grip, and now finish your armbar. Okay. The way I like to finish my armbar, taking it to the hip by his legs. If I take it to this hip, it might give him a chance to hitchhiker. So I don't like that. So I take it to the far hip. Now try to hitchhiker. It's a lot harder for him to hitchhiker. Double wrist control, thumb point to the ceiling, pinch my knees, leg curls, pull his arm down, thrust my hips up. Okay. Now I'm going to show you the arm bar from the gift wrap control from mount. Okay, so I get the gift wrap. Now, once I have the gift wrap here, ideally when I go for the arm bar, I would like him to be on his side. You can do it when he's flat on his back on this one, but it requires a really strong grip. Okay, so it's better if you put him on his side. I'll show you both, him being on his side and him being flat on his back. But I like to swivel, and as I swivel, lean, and then once I lean, there's no weight. You guys can see my left leg; it's off the mat here. There's no weight on my left leg. I'm able to bring it around his head, and I can fall all the way down to my armbar position. Okay, and then once again, I just showing you guys the pathway of using my leg to break the grip here. If he goes long grip, I can do the same thing. And then from there, I can either finish my armbar attempt or I can weave it through and set up my triangle. Okay. And sometimes even here, can't maybe pull him up too much. And from there, maybe I can't finish the choke. But at this point, I'm not worried about controlling him. And I'm just going to go 2-on-1 and attack his wrist and break that grip. Okay. Now, the other arm bar for mount if he gets flat to his back during this process. So I go for the gift wrap, and now he gets flat to his back. So this one, it's going to be a lot faster of a move. So you're going to have to swivel, and then you have to see, this is what I'm talking about. You need a real strong grip, okay, right here. So I'm just like really tight right here, okay. And once I'm super tight, like right here, try to get flat to your back. Try to get your, get away, like get your arm out. That's good. Swivel. Now, same thing. You want to kind of test that control right here. Try to get your arm out. Yeah, see, I can feel a lot more pressure on my wrists from here. So you don't have that much time. You're going to have to go for it. So I kind of bring this high into his armpit, lean, drop my weight, swivel. And there we go. We're in that same position. Okay, so now I want to show you the arm triangle from mount from the gift wrap control. Okay, so we got the gift wrap. And you can do this if he's on his side, but I usually use this option when they go flat to the back. So he goes flat to his back. I want to drop my weight. I'm going to let go with my right hand that's grabbing my own wrist, my left wrist. And as I let go, I pull his head up a little bit and I slide it behind his neck. Once that happens, I get my head into a nice safe position here. And then I let go and I slide down and I connect my arm triangle. I personally like to finish this in mount. If you want to dismount, you can just by kind of shifting your weight, going super high. Because if you go sloppy, he'll catch your foot. You don't want to deal with that. Okay. So I go super high, clear his legs, or you can go heel the butt, swivel the knee on belly. Then you would lay down and finish your arm triangle. Okay. But I like to finish it in mount. Once I get to mount, I like to finish it with gable grip. So my arm that's under his neck and head, that will be on top of my gable grip. I'm going to kind of sprawl this hip out and just drop my shoulder straight down into his throat and drive my chest into his shoulder and flex my bicep and pull. Okay. Now I want to show you guys the leg triangle entry from the gift wrap from mount. Okay. So we'll go gift wrap. Once this happens, okay, you have two ways of doing this. You can either, look to weave your leg through while holding on 2-on-1 with your gift wrap control, which is, I think, a little bit harder, but it's still possible. But at some point, you're going to have to let go of his wrist and grab your shin and pull it across, right? Or kind of do it like just controlling one of his wrist and pulling it super deep behind his neck. And then from there, you can look to control this wrist. You can step right through the gap, swing it around. Like, you can always pull his arm towards you, swing it around. That works as well. And then from there, you just want to kind of climb up, grab your own shin. Make sure I don't smash Onyx's hand. There you go. And then make your adjustments for your leg triangle here in mount, okay? And lately, my favorite finish from here is grabbing his body and like kind of rotating towards the free side, the free arm. So just rotating and kind of grabbing his head. Okay. Should be a nice choke. Okay, so now I'm going to show you how to take the back from gift wrap and mount. So we have the gift wrap locked up. And from this point, we look to post up, keep him on his side. Okay, I like to, if you look at my left leg here, I kind of swivel it really tight and close to his body. Keep my chest on his shoulder. I'm going to fall to my butt, pull him up a little bit, and then I'm going to fall to my far hip, my right hip. As I fall to my right hip, I land on his back, and then me personally, if I'm able to, I like to go body triangle. Sorry, Onyx. But you can also go hooks. Just make sure you keep your head below his head. Okay, so I'm going to show you some submission options from gift wrap control from the back. First thing I like to do, if I have the gift wrap here, I'm going to look to transfer control. And as I transfer control, I can look to go for my RNC, okay? So I really like to keep my hand I always like a vision, like it's a saw blade. So he's tucking his chin, and I'm just kind of grinding it in there back and forth until I get under his chin. And if you see, I like to grab the back of his neck if you grab the shoulder, he has a tendency to tuck his chin, still crush his face, but I'm nice and I like to do blood chokes. So in competition or something like that, sure, yeah, crush the face, right? All right, so once I grab the neck, try to tuck your chin. Can't tuck his chin no more. So it does require a little bit of like flexibility in your wrists and your arms, but it's something if you can do, I recommend it. And then once that happens, make sure your head's below his head. You're going to pull it out. And as you pull it out, you swivel it behind, grab your shoulder, grab your bicep. And then from there, to finish this, I like to squeeze my elbows together. I like to flex my bicep. I like to shrug and drive my head into his head. You can also try to pull your elbow a little bit to the outside, but if you focus on that detail, sometimes it turns into like a trachea, more trachea. So I tend to just do that at the very, very end, just a little bit. Okay. Another thing we could do is if I have gift wrap control, sometimes they give this to me or I bait it, right? So sometimes he uses his other arm to kind of push my arms over. And then as that happens, I can look to switch to the arm bar. So as he pops it over, I do want to swivel my left leg, my bottom hook across his hips. So that way he doesn't get trapped between his legs. Because if it gets trapped between his legs, it's going to be harder to finish that arm bar. So I would prefer it not to get trapped. So I'm going to swivel it across his hips. And then from there, I want to swing this one around. And as I swing it around, I would ideally like my elbow under his neck and clear the head. And then I can extend both legs like I set up for the armbar position here. Okay. Now, sometimes during the transition or maybe when you get to the armbar position, he tries to trap your foot. And as he traps your foot here, you can actually switch back to the gift wrap. So I can actually use this control and bring it down and around and then swivel back under his neck. And now I'm back into the gift wrap. Okay. And then usually from here, I like to retake his back. And now we're back to the back position in the gift wrap. Okay. You can also, with the arm bar, you can also kind of, you can either swivel it, right? Or you can decide, you can like let go, grab the shoulder, push the head. That's another variation. Okay. Okay. So now we're going to talk about submission options from gift wrap from guard. Okay. So we lock up our gift wrap from guard. Now, once we get to this position, okay, the first thing I usually try to do is the arm triangle, okay? I feel like that one's most high percentage for me, okay? So when I'm ready, I like to kind of hip out. Once I hip out, I want to make sure my chest is directly on his shoulder, okay? I want to make sure like my crotch is on his hip. It's kind of angle I'm looking for. Then I'm going to weave this under. And I'm going to shoot it nice and deep. I'll grab his neck. I move my head to touch on his head. If I do it here, he could potentially like rip his arm out. Yep, just like that. So I want to make sure my head's touching his head. Try to pull your arm out. It's blocking it pretty good. Let's go back. So yeah, when I go here, shoot a nice tight uppercut, put my head on his head. And then from there, I like to gable grip, pull it deeper. And then I like to slide to my RNC hug grip. I like to go over his arm here. I don't like to push the head because it pushes his neck away from his shoulder. So I like to bring it around and put it on his arm. So grab and swivel it all the way around and pull it on this arm. And then flex your bicep, your choking bicep, shrug, and squeeze your elbows together and drive your chest into the shoulder and pull. Okay. Now I'm going to show you guys the arm bar from the gift wrap from guard. Okay. This one for me is a little bit lower percentage. I do hit it occasionally. But if you really like arm bars from guard, and this might be a good option for you. Okay. So from here, we lock it up. And as I lock it up, sometimes what will happen is they'll try to like pull their head out of the gift wrap. And once that happens, okay, like keep pulling your head out. Yep. Once that happens, I'm looking at this point to get an angle and clear the head. And then I can switch to my arm bar attempt. Okay, from here, make sure your leg curling, both legs, double wrist control, and then thrust and squeeze your knees together and pull. Okay, this one is going to be, in my opinion, a hard option, but it's still an option, you know, and it's still possible to do. So sometimes it's a Hail Mary option for me that I occasionally hit. Okay, so now I'm going to show you guys the leg triangle setup from the gift wrap from guard. Okay, so I lock it up. And then what I like to do here is once I have it locked up, okay, from here, I like to have it like, I'm just going to use one of my arms, like the arm that's grabbing his wrist, to pull it super deep around his neck. And then from there, I let go and I look to grab wrist control. Once that happens, I look to thread the needle. Okay, use my wrist control and bring my knee up and then find space to bring my leg through, bring it over his neck, switch to shin control, grab his head, make your adjustments. And now we're in the triangle. Now I want to show you guys a sweep option with the gift wrap control from full guard. Okay, so from here, I like to get the gift wrap locked up. And at this point, if I can, sometimes they push my leg down right here. Yep, you can use your hand too. Yeah. And as he pushes down, he steps over. So now I find myself in this position with a butterfly hook. Or if we go back to guard, as I get a good angle, sometimes I can sneak this butterfly hook in. Okay. So once I get that butterfly hook in, at that point, I can start to use that to set up my sweep. Okay. And you could either do like a scissor sweep type of motion or just your basic, like kind of like butterfly hook type of sweep. Okay. So I like to kind of get back under him now because my leg's under him. And then from there, I can use this to kind of trap and weave it through. I can kind of block. You can also use it to chop, like a scissor kick, right? And then from there, I like to elevate with my right foot and use that to sweep them, right? Once I sweep them, I'm back to mount, and I can go to any of my mount gift wrap options. Okay. So the last thing I want to discuss with you guys is, or show you guys, is a way to kind of prevent it get fully locked up, the gift wrap, and option to escape it as well. It's definitely a position you don't want to end up in. This is a really tough position to get out of, but just in case, I'm going to show you guys some defensive stuff. Okay. So Onyx puts me in the gift wrap here. Okay. Now, as far as if we go back, like before you lock up this. So you have my wrist, right? And before he makes this connection, because once he makes this connection, it's real hard to break the grip at this point. So one thing I like to do is I like to put my hand right here and I kind of pinch my elbow down. This kind of like closes that like window for him to kind of weave his arm through and grab his own wrist. So it might be a little hard to see, but yeah, I'm trying to put my hand here and I like trying to pinch down. And now it's going to be a lot harder for him to fully lock up the gift wrap. And this is going to help out a lot because if he can't fully lock up the gift wrap, all his attempts for submissions and transitions are going to be a lot looser, and that will give me an option, potential options to escape and get out, right? So as he's trying to go for the gift wrap, I just sneak my hand through here and I pinch down, try to lock up the gift wrap. And see, I'm kind of blocking that and prevent him from locking up. And then as he's like trying to really go hard for that might give me an opportunity to try to escape. Okay. Lock it up again. Now, if it's fully locked up, I only really found one option that works for me somewhat on a consistent manner is that I like to call it threaded needle. So this arm, I'm looking to kind of pull up here and I'm going to kind of slide it through. So if you guys can kind of pull me up a little bit. Yeah, there you go. I'm going to slide it through under that gap and then put the hand on my face. Okay. From there, I'm looking to keep extending, like I'm brushing my hair and reaching for my head and keep extending. And once I extend, now I can use that to kind of break out and start recovering my frames. So we'll show that one more time. So it's nice and tight. And now before he sets up anything, I don't want him to set up anything. I like to weave it through and just keep extending as much as possible. And then once I get my elbow cleared, I am good to go. I'm good to retract my arms, turn into them and frame. Okay. The last idea I kind of want to talk about is maybe baiting the submission that you're more confident defending. That's an option that I do sometimes when I'm stuck in gift wrap. So if I know I'm really good at escaping arm triangles, I'm going to try to bait that more. Same thing with back takes or arm bars, right? So we'll just talk about that real quick. So if he has me in the gift wrap, I really want to stay on my flat on my back. So when he switches to arm triangle here, right, I can go for my arm triangle escape, right? So this is the kind of strategy that really helps me escape and defend the gift wrap. Prevention, it should always be number one. You should always try your best not to let him lock it up using that like little block there. So like if he goes for the gift wrap one more time, before you lock it up, I'm blocking just like this, right? Sticking it through there or like pinching it in your armpit. That's another way is really good to help you, but this works really well. Try to lock up the gift wrap. Okay. Yeah. This will be your best bet. But also if you're on your side, kind of have your arms far away, believe it or not. So if he goes right here for the gift wrap, they're kind of far away. And then from there, that's going to make his life a lot harder. He can still do things. He still go arm bar, back take. He still could do arm triangle. He still do all these things without the gift wrap. But once you get controlled here, it's really hard to escape. So we got to do our best to never end up here. Okay. So at this point, I showed you guys the ins and out of my gift wrap system. It's something that I've been developing for since the start of my jiu-jitsu, and I've been training jiu-jitsu now 13 years plus, and it's something I use almost every single roll. I really like it for control, and it's very nice because it leads into a lot of submission options. And so, it's something I truly feel like it could be a part of anyone's game. And just want to kind of discuss with Onyx, like, how do you feel like gift wrap applies to your game, and what kind of success has it kind of brought you in competition or sparring or those type of things?
I think the gift wrap system has definitely benefited my game tremendously. I think that's like the core of most of what I do at this point. I think since I've started, I was definitely working mousetrap and stuff like that like crazy. And so working from that when people start defending it, and now I have options immediately after, and they lead to even better and better submissions from there. And it's all like a cycle. Like I can continue to chase submissions the entire time. No matter what reaction I get, I'll have something. And so that's definitely been a huge help. And all the videos and stuff that we have, and all the matches that I've had kind of proof of that. I look for gift wrap all the time.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely see you use it quite a bit. And it leads to submissions a lot for me. I also like it just like sometimes, man, get a hold of it, and then maybe just like take a little break, just like I'm tired. I'm just going to like hold on to this for like, 20 seconds, 30 seconds, slow down the chaos, slow down the scramble, slow down the pace, and just kind of catch my breath. And then when I'm ready on my terms, go to a submission hold. I feel like controlling gift wrap doesn't take much energy. I don't know what you think about that.
Yeah, definitely not. Just keeping that like tight grip, really pulling them up to you, keeping your knees close to them. And then you can kind of pick and go from there based on like reactions you've seen or reactions that you're feeling. Or if you want to start forcing things to set up your own traps, there's a lot there. So
do you have like a personal like favorite submission or like transition using the gift wrap?
I mean, as far as like most successful one, my Kimura's been working pretty good apparently. I've definitely been leaning more towards back takes at this point. I haven't really messed with it from full guard as much, but as far as like them working from side control, I get gift wrap frequently from them.
Yeah, it's usually I get it from like mount or side control most as well too. I noticed for me, like getting a full guard, it's more like I end up there during like as I'm trying to lock it up or take the back or something like that, and I end up there, and now just maybe using it there, trying to capitalize off of that position there is in full guard. Instead of like trying to like let go, climb up for the back, sometimes it's a little hard. Sometimes I just get stuck on full guard and I still have the gift wrap locked up. I look to, transfer to a submission attempt at that point. Mm-hmm. But yeah, any closing words or anything that you want to say about the gift wrap before we get out of here?
Keep practicing it. Really feel it out. You'll find the routes that you like the most, and you'll be able to make the most of it. and then having backups from there. You know, it'll be a good addition.
Awesome. So I want to say thank you for purchasing and watching our instructional. It really helps us. All the proceeds are going to go to our competition team that we plan on traveling and competing a lot more in the future here, and all the proceeds goes to that. Follow us on social media, 10 Planet Colorado Springs, and Roland Jiu-Jitsu.
Yeah, Roland Jiu-Jitsu on YouTube and on Instagram. It will be 10x Roland 10 NYX ROWLAND.
Awesome.